North Carolina more in the last 25 years than Georgia Tech. How about that?
Like,
Do you know that, Jay Batt?
You know, I've been made aware of that and like it a lot.
And he says that as a North Carolina alum. That's why he's running the show at Georgia Tech.
Okay.
Absolutely.
First of all, we appreciate the weather. That's number one.
Glad to help.
Because it feels like the fall down here, and it's great. But, man, what an enthusiastic attitude there is around this. Not only the football with what the coach is doing, but we just got done with tip-off, and Damon Stoudemire and Nell Fortner is always great to talk with. Life is good right now. You can feel a real vibe around everything around Georgia Tech.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. You know, it's been an awesome first year being here and in Atlanta and on the flats, and you know, really highlighted by a couple really great leaders joining our group. You know, Brent has done an incredible job with our football program. You know, he as the interim last year, a couple of great wins, but really added to that with some great coaching hires. Been really proud about the way he's gone about building a staff, you know, intentional in nature, you know, really being strategic, and then building this program for the long run, right? You guys were there, saw the fight of our team at the very end there in Miami. You know, again, lots been made about that discussion at the end, but you had a team on the other end of that had to make it happen, and those guys fought like heck. They did a great job, and I think that's a real reflection of the program that Brent Key's building. He's building a program around discipline and toughness, and continues to do a really good job getting us going. And as you mentioned, Nell and Damon, shining stars for us, but really excited about tomorrow and excited about Brent's first year leading the program.
Well, Jay, I came here in the summer for our ACC Road Show, and I was lucky enough to get in the weight room. Some of the strength coaches allowed me to go in there and get a workout in. I know they were saying that they're building new facilities. Could you talk about that a little bit and some of the new things you're doing for the football program?
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited. You know, starting right after the first of the year, we're going to knock down the Edge building, which has been around for, I think, 30-plus years, and it's time. And that will be the brand new home for our Student Athlete Performance Center. And that facility will feature a 15,000 square foot weight room. It's got the opportunity to have, we're going to build out Sports Science Center, dedicated space for sports analytics, sports medicine, mental health, which is really important today, and nutrition. We'll have world-class nutrition. And then a big part of that is to build out our football infrastructure. Meeting rooms, offices, completely renovated team lounge. I would tell you that here in our footprint will be as good as anybody in the league going forward. That building will be about an 18-month, 2-year build. We'll be ready for 26 football. Super excited, $90 million project, ready to go right after the first of the year.
That's amazing. Come on, man.
It's exciting.
It's super exciting to be a part of that in your first year and continue to grow from that. Let's dive into a little bit more about being an athletic director. And this week, homecoming, and you said all these meetings that you're having, all these people in town. How has that been? And I guess favorite part about it so far?
You know, I think the biggest part that's been awesome has been how welcoming our alumni base has been, you know, and we've stepped in here, been here a year, and so this weekend is a culmination of relationships built, different people that care about Georgia Tech athletics. I think that's been the things that has been such a called pleasant surprise, or something that's been, I thought it would be here and it's even here, is just how much our fans care about Georgia Tech athletics, how much they want us to be good. We've got this incredible history, as you guys know, of 4 national championships in football, been to Final Fours, College World Series. Yeah, heck, we're the place that, you know, the Heisman Trophy, you know, Coach Heisman was here, Bobby Dodd Award, Coach of the Year, Broyles, assistant coach here, and even heck, as an athletic director, Homer Rice Award, that comes from Georgia Tech. And so we're about winning, we're about that, but our folks care so much for us. It's been awesome this first year.
You know, speaking of your first year, I remember when you were hired, we had you on the show, and I did a double check today just to make sure, and the official opening for you was October 24th. So it really has just been happy anniversary.
Thank you, yes.
And you're talking about fundraising, which has always been kind of, I think, your bread and butter from your past and so forth. The Competitive Drive Initiative, I know, was one of the things it was one of the first things you jumped into, and even that response was through the roof, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable, and I'll tell you, 2 fronts. One was our president. You know, the most important thing for our success, and I think success generally in athletics, is alignment with your institution, with your president, right? You know, your president sets the tone, he leads the way, and Dr. Angel Cabrera has done that here. And so when I started, he stepped forward and said, hey, we want to help you drive revenue, help with this scholarship. And so he partnered with the Georgia Tech Foundation, creating a matching campaign. That ended up netting $9.5 million of annual fund scholarship support that previously hadn't been there. And so that alignment, and then this donor response, did that in about 60 days, right? And so went straight away, a big sprint. It's important. We're getting ready to launch turn 2 of the competitive drive next week. November the 1st, and so all of our fans will get to see that. But it's hugely important. Finding the revenue to support our coaches and our student athletes at the highest level, super important, whether it's NIL and our collective, The Tech Way, to the annual scholarship drive, and really, we're in the beginning stages of a master plan, starting with Bobby Dodd, right? We're beginning to look at how do we take one of the coolest settings in college football and make it the greatest stadium experience, from premium seating renovation to really leaning into our spot right here in campus and right here in the middle of Atlanta. Midtown is growing, as you guys know, and really one of the most vibrant communities. So super excited about that, and that revenue is super important, though, for us moving forward.
Well, Jay, how important is it to try to take advantage of that leverage of being in a big city? Some of the schools in the ACC are in smaller towns. Sure. I went to Florida State, small town in Tallahassee, even though it's the capital of Florida. How important is it to have that type of leverage here in the city?
It's huge. It's huge. This community, it's a great college sports town. Atlanta is a huge advantage for us. The Atlanta DMA identifies with more college sports fans than any large metro in the country. Over 45% of Atlanteans identify as college sports fans. That's better than anywhere else in the country. Then you look at the Fortune 500s we have here in Atlanta, they spend on college football. That's not always the case, right? You look at maybe some other markets that spend more on pro than other. This is a great college sports town. The College Football Hall of Fame's down the street. We host a lot of games here. It's important. It's huge for us, right? Our student athletes love it. They embrace it. They like the intermingling of campus and Midtown and all that. So it's a big deal for us.
It's a great melting pot for college football, ACC, SEC, the whole thing, which puts the premium on winning, right? Because
Absolutely.
The fans are there. They want to be associated and tie themselves to it. And I think that's one of the things I'm sure you're looking at, that, hey, you can do all the bells and whistles, which you got to have, but, man, winning is the ultimate.
This is Georgia Tech, fellas.
Yeah.
We've won football games, basketball games, baseball games, golf matches for a long time. And so that is paramount and front and center about what we're going to be about, right? And that's the ultimate goal. This is Georgia Tech. We're going to spit out great kids that have incredible degrees, that are going to be successful in life. We turn out engineers and computer scientists. We solve the world's greatest problems over here. We're also going to win ball games. It's who we are and what we're about, and so we're going to get back to that. We've got the tradition. We're not inventing a new tradition here at Georgia Tech. We're extending that and reinvesting in that every day, and so I think you'll see our coaches and our student athletes achieve that winning at a high level. Kind
of to double down a little bit on the Atlanta question and the Fortune 500 companies, the surrounding area here. How is that an advantage for you guys with NIL and these new rules, and probably the footprint and network that Georgia Tech has?
It's big. Our alums are seated at decision-making places all across these Fortune 500 companies. They're in positions of ability to help student athletes and connect with them. This is an opportunity-rich environment for those student athletes. So when they're able to go out and use their NIL in a positive, impactful way and generate revenue, we're in a target-rich environment for them, and it's really helpful.
Jay, I got to ask you about the conference. Obviously, SMU, Cal, Stanford are going to join next year. Monday we'll have the unveiling at 6 o'clock, by the way, just a similar promo here, about what the scheduling is going to look like. Your take on where college athletics, you listen, you've worn a lot of hats in a lot of different places. ACC's made this now commitment to the West Coast and San Francisco and the Metroplex. But where are we going? I mean, we know what the league's going to be like.
Right.
But, I mean, it's an amazing time in college athletics.
I think it's a time of incredible change, right? Incredible variability. I think the ACC is really, really strong and stable. This edition of Cal, Stanford, SMU brings a couple of two really good markets to us, right? Exciting places. From a Georgia Tech lens, these are markets where we have alums. They're markets where our student athletes are excited to go and experience, right? We began this journey. One of the things the commissioner, other ADs around the table's president said, we got to focus on the student athlete experience, their welfare. We're going to be in a place where these student athletes are going to have incredible opportunities, but really be able to manage their academics, their travel. So that's really strong for us. I would say in periods of great change, you need great leaders, right? And so we have an incredible leader in Commissioner Phillips. I think it wouldn't be without, it wouldn't be overdue to say that his navigating of all this sort of summer we had of challenges, pulling everybody around the table, reaching consensus, getting to a great outcome, it's really important. So I've got a lot of faith in Commissioner Phillips, his leadership, the work he did over the summer to get us to a great place. Listen, college athletics continues to evolve and change. That leadership of other athletic directors in the room, our other presidents and chancellors, we're in a great spot. And I'll tell you, it was really fun, really cool to be in the room last week at ACC meetings and have the ADs from Cal and Stanford and Rick Hart at SMU in the room. It was awesome. Known those guys for a long time. They're great adds to the league.
Well, Jay, throw your analyst cap on here.
All right.
Big game tomorrow night. Both teams coming off losses. And obviously Carolina wants to get back in that winning train. What does Georgia Tech have to do to defend home field here in Atlanta?
That's a great question. I'm going to put Brent Key at the center of that answer and say that, we're going to let Coach Key handle the on-field. I'll just tell you that we're going to double down on those things that have made us successful. That fight to the end, the grit, the ability to, really kind of impose that toughness throughout the game. It's important. Coaches got a really good game plan. I won't tip my hat any further than that, but
Understood.
feel great about our chances and really excited for tomorrow night.
Well, I mentioned that Georgia Tech in the last 25 years has beaten North Carolina more than anybody else. Jackets are 18-6 against North Carolina in football in the last 25 years. Nobody's got more W's than Georgia Tech. You ruined the party down there last year, right? You get the AD job, you go up to Chapel Hill, forget all that Drake May, Heisman, nonsense. North Carolina playoff, nonsense. I mean, Georgia Tech, for whatever reason, sees that baby blue, and you're an alum, and they just rise up and play great.
Let's do that again. You said 18, let's go 19-6. Let's ride off into the evening tomorrow night. I look forward to celebrating with you guys on the field to do it.
I'm just telling you what the numbers are. I'm not making this stuff up. 18 up, 6 down. But again, one thing we found out about ACC football this year, Florida State's gotten off to a great start. But my goodness, there's so many great storylines. I can't remember a second half of the season where so many teams legitimately have a shot at getting to Charlotte, North Carolina to play for a championship.
Absolutely, it's been a lot of fun so far. I think we've got a lot of victories ahead of us and a lot of fun football to play.
Well, we appreciate you stopping by. Again, we appreciate all the hospitality as well, and the place is going to be unbelievable tomorrow night.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of
Now,
it.
by the way, am I going to see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for the cake race?
I'll be here. I won't be running, but I'll be here.
You know what? I'm not going to get tipped what we're going to do on that thing tomorrow, but I'll be looking for you tomorrow morning. 6
Sounds
a.m.
good, guys. Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Jay Batt taking care of business here at Georgia Tech. When we come back,